If you do not smile, you look so serious. English that I have shared, snobbish. Snobbish, right? So let's take a photo, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Page 1 done. Page 2, I want all of you, please turn on your camera. Yes, it's mandatory. Those who didn't open the camera. Yeah, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, very good. Yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you. So, Diploma in Business and Management, Module 101, Business English, Week 1, Day 2. And my name is Faisal, and I'm one of the lecturers at Trinity International College. And today, I will be conducting this session. So let's have a look about the rules and regulation. I want, not today I'm not going to read the rules and regulation. I want someone, maybe I will call, when unmute your microphone, just take the ownership and explain about the rules and regulations. Yeah.
Okay, hi there, everybody. Good morning and good evening. Okay, so first rule is be punctual. Second is log in with your registered name. Third is turn on your video throughout. Fourth is be polite, no rude remarks, all for the name. Fifth is no unsolicited private messages. Sixth is attendance, minimum 8 out of 9 lessons per module to get certificate of participation. 7 is do not share lesson link or notes with others. 8 is participate activity.
Thank you. When your communication is one way, remember, one-way communication. You just giving all the information to your fellow friends. I feel like there was no interaction. You didn't explain anything else. Be punctual. Why you need to be punctual? You didn't say why you need to log in with your registered names. Okay? And one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, do not feel shy. This is our family. We are siblings, brothers and sisters. Formal siblings, not informal, okay? Formal siblings. So feel free to make mistakes, and as a teacher, if I say something very straightforward, my special request to you, do not take it personally. Okay? Good, very good. Mr. Noor, lesson schedule. You just explain, you just read this part. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So lesson schedule will be lessons will be held 3 times a week. So it will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Lessons will be held from 7 to 10 p.m. on Singapore time, and we will have 4 weeks for each module. So it means we will have 4 modules. Week 1 to week 3, we will have online lessons, so explanation, definition about our program. And the first week will be revision and test. So we can take that and make a revision of all parts.
Thank you. You did a very good job. But here you also did one-way communication. You didn't ask anyone, guys, should I make myself clear to you? Any question about the schedule? Remember, that should be two-way communication. Yes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Whenever you are in an environment, follow the rules of this environment. If you are inside a toilet, follow the rules of using the toilet. You got my point? Very simple and straightforward statement. Yeah, today's topics for today, ladies and gentlemen, what are the things we are going to learn? Or we are going to discuss today. Recall the topics that we have done earlier, right? Second one, you can take note. And don't worry, I'll be sharing these PowerPoint slides at the end of this session inside of our Zoom chat room. So we are going to learn about a model called SMCR of communication. For all of your information, this model is called Mother of Communication Model. I will be explaining all the things one by one. Another model is called Shannon-Weaver model of communication. basically, today we will be talking a lot about the School of Scholars, Communication School of Scholars, the expert, how they explain about the ways of communication, ways of business communication. Okay, so from those models, what we are going to do, we will interrupt and we will interpret, not interrupt, interpret. We will take the main idea, the effective and scientific ways of communication, barriers to communication, and then the big part of today's session is LSRW skills, meaning to say listening, speaking, reading, and writing. I'll be sharing some key points how you can improve your listening skills, how you can improve your speaking skills, reading skills, and writing skills as well. And the last, that should be socio-linguistics. Okay, so a lot of things we are going to learn today. Okay, sir, can I print out my screenshot? Yes, you can, no problem, my friend. You can proceed this one. Okay, fine. So recall, what are the topics we have done so far? I would like to request one of my friends, maybe Anne. The middle name is Anne. I'll type Tapian and Pereira, I'm sorry, maybe I mispronounced your name. Hi, how to pronounce your name, my friend?
My name is Kathleen Ann Pereira from
Okay, Kathleen.
Philippines.
From Philippines. Hi, friend. Okay, now, would you please try to recall what are the things so far we did during our first session? Just the topics.
We discussed about the upward communication, the downward communication, and the definition of business communication.
And
And what type of government that uses these types of communication, like the democratic, the autocratic, and the laissez-faire.
as is fair. Yeah, right. Very good. Good, very good. Then another important part. Remember?
Mm, it's about
Thank you, Anne. It's okay. Thank you. You did a very good job. Put your hands together for Anne. She did a very good job. She remembered the terms of pretty, being pretty, and ladies fair leadership style. I would like to ask Miss Sushmita. Yes, Miss Sushmita. Would you mind unmuting your microphone for a while? Yes. Sushmita, unmute your microphone. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. So how is today? Sushmita, how is
Yeah.
today?
Sender, yeah.
Okay, everything is fine.
My English is not proper, it's okay, sir.
It's okay. It's more than
Because,
okay. It's more
because I am
than
in
okay.
Tamil Nadu, so I cannot talk proper English.
Okay, my friend. It's okay. And understand your English. So, try to recall, try to tell us, what are the things we have
Yeah.
done during our first session.
Sender, receiver, feedback. Feedback of communication, types of one way, two ways.
My point was like that. Different types of communication. One
So,
way, two ways,
different.
right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy to know that at least you could remember the things that we have done, right? Okay, so today, the first thing that we are going to learn about communication model. The model is called SMCR, model of communication. So what does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? So this model was originally developed by a mathematician from American mathematician, Samson and Watson Weber. They worked together in order to come out with scientific concept of proper communication. Proper communication. The communication basically focus on business communication, formal communication as well. So SMCR stands for source, message, channel, and the last one is what? receiver. Understand this one? This slide is very straightforward. This model is developed by an American mathematician, and the main aim of this model is to know how we can develop, how we can build up an effective communication in an organization. So we are going to talk about source, message, channel, and receiver. Let's go. So before we are going to talk about S and CR, remember in my last class we talked about interpersonal and intrapersonal communication. So yesterday, while I was thinking about your session, I feel that I need to explain a bit about interpersonal and intrapersonal communication so that all of you can understand the model that we are going to talk to. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so let's have a look. Intrapersonal communication, I will be using a highlighter marker. Okay, yes, here. See. So, intrapersonal communication occurs when a person communicates with himself or herself. When we ask a question ourselves, what is going on? Why I'm here? Why I'm so sad? Why I do not have a job? Why my English is not so good? Why still I am single? Why my wife is not so happy? Why my husband is not so happy? When we talk with ourselves about our, about our own problem, about our own thinking, it is called intrapersonal communication. On the other hand, interpersonal is about, the proper communication where we exchange the information, ideas, opinions, etc. between two persons. It could be, between you and your friends, between you and your manager, between you and your family members as well. So understand this one, intrapersonal and interpersonal. Now I believe it's clear enough. So intrapersonal, it will come from our sense, our sense. It will come from our sense, our thinking, our perception within oneself. What is the meaning of perception? Perception meaning to say how we perceive, how we accept the things, how we address the things. On the other hand, interpersonal communication, what does it mean? It's all about exchanging and sharing of information between two persons. There should be particular information, particular medias, and particular languages, particular topics. Okay? Next one, it doesn't require any media or channel. When we talk with ourselves using any media, we can think a lot. We can think a lot without using any media. But interpersonal, we must need medias or channels like verbal, non-verbal, face-to-face, face-to-face, by using the technologies and so on. Okay, for intrapersonal, it doesn't go beyond personal mind. So it's all about your own philosophy, own thinking, own ideas, and it totally belongs to you. But on the other hand, interpersonal, it goes from one's mind to another mind. For example, Mr. when he's going to talk about his family members to us, obviously all the information of his family will be being transferred to us. So this one is interpersonal communication. But when Mr. is thinking about his own problem, maybe something wrong with his girlfriend, maybe something wrong with his job, career, this one will be intrapersonal. Yes, intrapersonal, invisible, we cannot see what is going on inside of your brain. But intrapersonal, it's visual in nature. We can see, we can feel, we can understand, ladies and gentlemen. So now I'm going to talk about S and CR models of communication. Ladies and gentlemen, before I'm going to discuss about this module or model, stop sharing the screen for a moment, and I would like to say hello to everyone one moment. Why? Now, my friends, the biggest problem, the biggest problem of young people is that the problem is they always think, I know. They always think, I know. You got my point? You understand what I'm trying to mean? The biggest problem of young people, today's young people, they feel like I know everything. But the result, there is no result, actually we need to come out from this concept. We know everything, but we need to consider this one. We need to go the deepest part of the topics, the deepest part of the things. And we need to make our concept clear so that you can apply your skills in your career. You got my point, what I'm trying to mean? All of you clear? Why you look so sad, my friends? No need to feel sad, I will make it clear to you, but this is the problem, When I'm going to talk about the standard, some of you may think, oh, I know, what does it mean, standard? Yeah, you know this word, but it's okay. It's okay to learn more details. It's okay to learn more details. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fine. So let's talk about this model as MCR, source, message, channel, receiver. I did some part of this model during my first session. But again, source. In communication, what is the source? What are the weapons that you are going to use to communicate with others? Number one, your communication skills. Second one, attitudes, knowledge, social system. I would like to introduce one important term with all of you guys. It is called sociolinguistics. This term I will be discussing at the end of today's session. So social system, and the last one is culture. All of you got my point? Source. From those source, you can encode messages. So what are the components of message? Content. Content. Content meaning to say what you are going to, what are the information you are going to share with your fellow team members? What are the message? What are the real things that you are going to share with all of us? Elements, treatment, try to understand, structure, and core. Message, huh? And then channel. What are the channel we used to use to communicate? Hearing. Yeah. In English, you cannot use seeing. According to according to grammar, right? But here, seeing meaning to say watching. So hearing, watching, touching, smelling, tasting. All are the channel of communication. Then decodes. Decodes meaning to say analyze. Remember, I have told you earlier, right? Receiver. How receiver will receive your message? See, Miss Angel. Miss Angel is speaker. She's trying to say something to us. So she must has those features or characters while she's going to communicate with us. So I am the listener. I must need to have the same quality. Try to understand. I should have communication skills. If Miss Angel is speaker, I should have the ability to listen. You got my point, my friend? I should have the ability to understand. I should have the ability to interpret. You got my point? Same. Miss Angel, she should have positive attitude while she's going to communicate with us, communicate with me. I should have the same positive attitude to listen to Miss Angel. You got my point, my friend? According to this model, this two part is very important. Knowledge. Maybe Miss Angel is talking about Miss Angel is talking about social science, maybe physics, for example, physics or chemistry. Angel is talking about physics to me, but I do not have any knowledge about physics. Even I do not have ABC of physics. Then there will be miscommunication. You got my point? I feel like Angel is talking like an alien. You got my point, my friend? When we do not have even the basic knowledge, the things that someone is sharing with us. Social system, yeah, sociolinguistics. Sociolinguistics means to say the English language that is being used, that is being used in your society. You got my point? Maybe my Malaysian friends will be agree with me. Sometimes our beloved Malaysian, they will use the term, you can call me la. From Philippines, thank you, po. You got my point? Some common features we are using in our everyday life. It's called social linguistic social systems. If you are being with you are following your own culture. Maybe in Hinduism, people usually greet others by saying maybe Vanakkam, right? Hi, good morning, good afternoon. So it's varies from culture to culture, country to country, and so on. So in communication, the two parties should be the same. They should follow the same flow. Otherwise, there will be a problem of this communication. You got my point? So, ladies and gentlemen, so this model is very important to know. You know why? When you are going to do business communication, the first and foremost thing you have to do is about communication skills. Amelia, Miss Amelia, hi, Miss Amelia. Hi, Amelia. Hi. Yes, Amelia. Unmute your microphone. Yeah. Hi.
Hi,
Hi. Your name and from which country you are from?
my name is Nida. I'm from Pakistan and I am working now and I take my admin potential is learning a lesson and after the only one and two lesson.
It's okay.
And
Understood.
I'm
Halima.
good. I'm sleeping and
It's okay, Emily. No problem. Now you try to explain. What does it mean? Attitude. Attitude. In communication, how will you define attitude? What does it mean?
I'm sorry. You can repeat.
Okay, never mind, my friend. No problem. Okay, so I believe all of you are clear about the term about this model called SNCR. Okay, so remember the source and receiver, and the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hearing, seeing, this is very deep. That is very deep. When I talk, when I'm going to communicate with all of you, you can hear my voice. If you don't want to see my face, if you don't want to see my gesture, there will be miscommunication between you and me. So seeing, watching is very important in communication. Touching, when you are going to handshake, business communication is about dealings with the people. You got my point? No, you got my point? Touching, how touching is related to, communication or channel. Today you are here for an interview and you are trying to handshake with me by saying, nice to meet you, Mr. Faisal. And if I notice that you didn't put your hands firmly with my hands, try to understand, if you put it firmly, I could feel your warmth. You got my point? Feeling your warmth. In communication, feeling someone's warmth is very important. Should I make myself clear to you? So in communication, it's very important. Touching, Touching. It's not physical touching only. its psychological part as well. It is called first impression. First impression. No, you got my point? First impression matter. Right. Smelling, yeah, it doesn't mean that how expensive perfume you have used during your communication. Smelling means that people will feel that you are very charming. You got my point? You are very charming. You are very proactive while you are going to communicate with other people. Understand what I'm trying to mean? Testing, yeah, this is not so direct. Testing meaning to say in communication, yeah, the way you talk, make sure people they feel right, they like it, they feel like wow, this person is talking to me from his heart, from his brain. The test is sweet test, you know, the logical test. So yeah, this one, that's all. I'm not going to talk about much about this model. Fine, don't worry. Source. So I would like to explain all the things one by one, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you that we have to stop thinking that we know everything. If you really want to be a successful person, be humble. Be humble. Learn from the very beginning. Be the master of doing the little things. Remember, little things always will lead you to the bigger things. So source, remember, the first is S, right? The source is where message originates. First of all, attitudes. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? And Amelia, stay with us. Now, attitudes meaning to say, as a speaker, as a presenter, as a leader. As a leader, let's do something. Let's do something. I'll do something. Ladies and gentlemen, please start on your camera. I have shared one simple word in our chat group. It is called attitude. Attitude. A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E. You know, there is a very interesting mathematical terms. If you value all the alphabets and if you add together, the total will be 100. You got my point? Hey, Q Myung Long, hi, with black t-shirt today. Yeah, hi. Okay, so come to the main point. What I'm trying to mean. If you put A is for 1, you got my point? What I'm trying to mean? There are 26 alphabets in English, right? How many alphabets? I will ask someone else. Yeah. Who is very smart? To me, everyone is very smart. But open. When? Show me your notebooks. Where is your notebook? Yeah. Okay, fine. Write down attitude on your notebook. Write down attitude on your notebook. Ladies and gentlemen, please note, all of you, write down attitude on your notebook. Yeah, please. So, A is the first alphabet, right? Write down 1 under A. Then T. T is which number? Who can tell me? T is which number? A. Tell me. 20. Very good. So T20, another T20, right? Then next is what? I. I is how? I is what? I. 9. Okay. Okay, fine. 9. Then next alphabet is what? Again T, right? T is equal to what? 20, right? Okay. Then next alphabet is what?
U1.
21.
U21 or what? Okay, fine.
4.
And then
Uh,
E is equal to 4. Then
T5. Hi. Hi.
E, sorry. So if you count all the for all the numbers together, the total will be 100. So that is why we call attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. If you go for hard working, it will carry only 97, luck 47, something like that. But the attitude will bring it. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, it's just an interesting, an interesting part of this word attitude. The total value of attitude is 100. Meaning to say, attitude is everything. Not only in communication, trust me. It's everything in your personal life, professional life, family life, study life, student life, everywhere. Attitude is everything. So in communication, why attitude is very, very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. See, the attitude towards the audience, subjects, and towards oneself. For example, for the student, the attitude is to learn more, and for teacher wants to help teach. Understand this one, huh? I'm talking about attitudes. I'm a teacher. If my mindset is lazy, if I don't want to help you to learn more, if my attitude is like that, logically, and you should have to be very, very sincere. You should have to be very, very cool-minded, very smart, very smart. Your EQ, IQ should be very, very sharp. Only then, as a leader in business world, you can communicate properly with and keep the pushing. As a leader, if you feel lazy and if you feel, today I'm not feeling well, I'm not going to talk much in this meeting, then your followers will understand that you as a leader, you have some problem in your attitudes. Then there will be communication gap. Second one, I believe attitude is clear enough. Any question about attitude, my friend? Second one, knowledge. The knowledge about today, I will give you some classroom activities. And then, I will find out, I will figure it out where is the problem with you guys, especially during the communication. Okay, so knowledge, the things what you are going to do, the things that you are going to share, you should have more and more knowledge, especially the details, every small details. Remember, during your university time, while doing the presentation, Emilia, right? When you are going to present the topic for your physics, you prepare all the small definition, right? Because you were afraid that if my teacher asks me some question like that, then maybe I cannot answer that properly, right? So knowledge is also important for communication. We need to say the things what you are going to do, what you are going to convey. You should have clear conception about this one, ladies and gentlemen. And the next one is social system. Social system, I will skip this part because I have postmodern components called social linguistics. I'll be sharing this part later. So social system in a single sentence meaning to say whenever when you are in Rome, do as the Romans do. Meaning to say when you are going to communicate with a particular group of people, follow the culture of that particular group of people. Their religion, their culture, their values, their beliefs, their lifestyle, we should have to consider. Okay? And the culture of a particular society is very, very important to understand their people, to understand their understanding level, how they will perceive or how they will accept your information. This is called source. Then message and coder, I believe, the sender of the message originates is referred as encoder. Already I have told this one before, right? So when Mary is going to exchange or going to share some information from her to us, the process will call encoder. Content, but the meaning of content, as I told you, the beginning to the end of the message comprises its content. So if I ask you, tell me something about your parents. So the content is about your parents. Got my point? Parents, their name, their age, their profession, their personalities, that's it. Content. If in business communication, if the communication topic is sales and marketing, so the content will be meeting of minutes of the meeting, there is a business term here, right? So the content should be very specific and you should have to prepare it before you are going to communicate, especially in the business world. The events, various things, the message, language should be there. There are so many, there are different kinds of languages that we are being used in our communication, in our message, right? So this one, and the gestures, your ways of presentation, body language, etc. Very important elements, right? Treatment, what does it mean? The way in which the message is conveyed or the way in which the message is passed on or delivered to. This is called treatment. Treatment, the way you are going to convey the message. If you say face to face, if you just come to my house and say, hello sir, good evening, the treatment is you convey the message to me directly, right? There should be other different medias as well as all you know earlier, right? I have explained this part, I would like to skip this part. Okay. Hearing, seeing, touching, smelling, and tasting. And the decoder, I'm talking about which one? The last one, receiver, receiver C. Same thing. The decoder who receives the message and decodes it is referred to as a decoder. So I'm using very simple form of English with all of you, my friends. Very simple form of English, I believe. So when you capture my words in your brain will analyze all of the words, all of the things that I share with you, and it will help you to understand, it will help you to interpret what I'm trying to do. You got my point? And the receiver, same thing. Like as I told you that the receiver and the sender, their mindset, their things will be same. Right? This model believes that for an effective communication to take place, the source and the receiver needs to be in the same level. For example, if I'm using very difficult English, if I'm using all the synonyms. I'm not using the simple form of English. If I make my statement very complex, then maybe 90% of you will not understand me. So according to this model, I would like to stop sharing the screen for a while, and I would like to share the most important part. Yeah, one more time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please hold for a while. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, now I'll come to the main point. According to this model, you as a speaker, you have to understand the level of your listeners. Got my point? Mr. Ayub, Mr. Ayub, hi. Welcome to our session. Yes. So, Mr. Ayub, could you please unmute your microphone for a while? A man with purple color t-shirt, yes. Unmute your microphone, it's okay. Maybe something wrong with the connection. Never mind, I'll get back to you again. So,
Good evening, sir. May I have a question in here?
Sorry?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
May I have a question? Just a quick question for me.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so in your previous slide, I do notice that you mentioned the decoder and the receiver, and I wonder if they are the same person or if there's any difference between the two terms.
Okay, I have shared the slide, and on the top of the slide there is a term encoder and decoder. Again, I will show it for you. No problem. No wonder. No need to be worried. Okay, Mr. Okay. So the meaning to say same person. What does it mean? You are from which country?
I'm sorry, I'm from Vietnam.
Yeah, you are from Vietnam, right? Right. So you are from Vietnam, and one of our another where is he? Maybe when he's from Malaysia and try to understand that. So Vietnam, you are from Vietnam, when from Malaysia. So there will be a communication, try to understand. So the way you as a speaker, you should have, remember the first row skills, communication skills, you got my point? Same concept, the level should be same with when. According to this model, there are some limitations of this model. I will share it with you. You got my point? These experts say the sender and receiver, encoder and decoder should be the same level. But another school of scholars say sometimes it's very, very difficult to find out the same level of encoders and decoders because many men, many minds. There are huge difference in terms of culture, in terms of sociolinguistics, in terms of understanding. Got my point? But it's true. Speaker and listener should have to stay in the same level. If Mr. Khan, your English level is so high, and when his English level is below the average, the whole conversation will be full of misunderstanding, and misunderstanding. Now all of you got the point of this module? All of you got, right? Now clear, right? Okay, fine. So let's get back to the slide. Yeah, my friend from Vietnam. See, here, encoders and decoders. I didn't highlight Is one now clear? And should I make myself clear to you now?
If it is too clear, it's clear for me now.
Okay, good, thanks.
Okay.
Now, so this one is very important for all of us to understand. Okay. Now, and all of you will be more clear. Why we are talking about this model? Because it's academic model. This one is developed by an academic personnel. But my point is said that in communication, these are the process, and it is called one of the most effective models of communication. An important thing is true, my friend. Communication speaks attitudes, knowledge, user, system, culture, and the message and the channels. Now, I'm going to share some, the criticism, some weaknesses of this model defined by another school of scholars. What is it? Arndt will be reading, Arndt will be explaining this part. Mr. Arndt, unmute your microphone. Go for number 1. Yes.
Are you asking me?
Yes,
yes.
Yes. Yeah. Try to explain the criticism of this feedback. Criticism of this model. No feedback. You don't know about the effect. What does it mean?
Okay, so I can see that from the model, it is pretty one-way. And since there is no feedback, we do not know if the message is conveyed successfully, and of course we wouldn't know about the effect that or maybe the aspect that the message have to the receiver.
Okay. So no feedback means to say we are not sure how the communication is going. Just one way to go. Just one way. So this is one of the weaknesses of this model. Second one.
Second one does not mention barriers to the communication. Yes, I see.
Yes. See, the model is there. We didn't mention about any barriers, right? Barriers of communication. It's another reason for this model. Then, my friend, go on.
I can see that for this model, everything seems to be so smooth. There's no barriers to communication. If we delve into the meaning, we can find out the barriers like about knowledge and about the social status and social system. But I don't think that I think that the barriers to communication, I think that they extend clearly in this concept.
Next.
Okay, so no room for noise. Okay, about this one, I think that right. It just does not calculate the possibility of noises for the communication. As you can see that well, actually I'm not so sure about this, but just as I say, everything seems to work. The model the response, they send out, they encode the message, and then the message, it was being decoded, and the receiver, they received it. Because according to the model, the receiver and the source, they should and they have to have the same level of everything, like of the knowledge, of the social system, social status, of the attitude, everything like that. So there shouldn't be any noise in this model.
Yeah. So that what does it mean? Needs people to be on the same level for communication to occur, but not true in real life. What does it mean?
Well, it is really hard for people to be at the same level of communication. Let's say that we are both high school or maybe university graduates, right? But we have a lot of we encounter a lot of situations and our education. Even though we receive the same education, our knowledge just not the same, and maybe some maybe excel in one area, and some can excel in the other area. Maybe they are all educated people, but they're just not. There's about to be some gap of understanding.
Correct. So, I don't know why you are requesting me to remotely control my screen. I can do it by myself, my friend. So, thank you, Mr. Khan. Yeah, these are some weaknesses of this module. And this module, uses the six senses. Remember, six senses, but not all the time we can implement our six senses in our communication. So some good things and some bad things always will remain in academic model. You got my point? That is why, ladies and gentlemen, let me start sharing the screen. I believe all of you know about the research published article. Those who already have had university degree, all of you know about the research, right? About the articles that has been published from your university, from international the authorities. So in research, what is going on? So maybe today, Mr. Sai Kwang San from Myanmar, he has published one article about human perception. Try to understand my friend, about human perception. And this article is being published by the international journal, the Committee of International Journals. Try to understand my friend. So within 1 year, maybe within 2 years, within 3 years, like Sai Kwang San, another researcher will come and give another concept, another idea, another result of the same research. You got my point? It doesn't mean that we can totally avoid Mr. Sai Kwang San's concept of human perception. You got my point? In academics, in studies, it's going on. So the model that we are studying now, maybe after 5 years, after 1 year, 2 years, another school of scholar will come forward and will come out with different concepts of communication. You got my point, my friends? But this model is important for you to understand how communication is going on in an organization properly, effectively. And this model is important for your module final exam as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, remember the weaknesses as well of this module. So, ladies and gentlemen, next, another, I cannot stop sharing screen. I will give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes think about the models that we have done. And if you have any question, you can ask me. I'll give you 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? 5 minutes. Then we will move to another model of communication. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, 5 minutes. You think first. And all of you participate in the session actively. You turn off your camera and your sitting. It will work perfectly. Let's do it together. any different issue. So the relationship between intention with yeah, I understand that we have been talking the same thing from day one. So let's learn more details about the ways about scientific ways of communication. So in this model, this scholar he started his communication process as usual naturally from center in an order. Yeah, this one is totally different than the last model that we have done just now, right? Decoder and receiver. The channel, he added one thing, is called noise, the barriers of communication. You can take note. So sender is all about information source, encoder, transmitter, then decoder, the reception, and the receiver is destination. So in this model, you can have a good contract. There is an option called feedback. It's very important. So two new things we must have to take note about this model. One is noise. It is called barriers in communication. And feedback. The most powerful way that we can use in order to make sure our communication is very small, our communication is very, very effective. Are we clear? So this thing I did during my first session, but using different angle. But in this model, the thing will be like that. Sender, along with information source, transmitter and order channels, yeah, there are struggles, it is called struggles, called noise and decoder and receiver. Okay? And another new thing is here, feedback. From sender to receiver. Sender can collect feedback from receiver also can collect feedback from the sender as well. Okay? Very good. Yes, next. Yeah, in this model, we can know about the information source, message, transmitter, signal, channel, noise, receiver, information, destination, probability of error, encoding, decoding, information rate, channel, capacity, etc. So more details. This model is called the mother of all models. The best model, considered as one of the best models of communication. So elements of model, I'm not going to discuss about this part. You can read. I'll be sharing this PowerPoint slide to our Zoom chat group. You have to do the self-study. They need chat. So sender, encoder, decoder, receiver, noise. Okay, I will be skipping this part very fast. Now the next topic is that. Okay. Next, before going to talk about the next topic, barriers to communication. Yeah, noise is clear. I believe I did not want to share with you guys. So barriers to communication. Stop sharing. I would like to stop sharing this screen. Justin, today you are a bit late, right? Justin, hi. Hi.
I'm actually not late, sir.
I didn't.
Because I'm doing some. Yeah, because I did some work while I'm listening to you.
Okay, very good. Very good. Understood.
But I'm not late.
Yeah, it's okay. Fine. Good. So, Justin, I have a question. What are the most common communication barriers? What are the most common?
For me, the most common communication barriers are lack of interest with the discussion or with the subject, and also the level of knowledge with both parties. They're looking in the center of the communication, and also I think language barrier also plays a major role in barriers of communication. Because, for example, if one has difficulty in speaking specific language, then the receiver will have a difficulty understanding what he's trying to convey. So I think for me those are the major barriers of communication.
The most common barriers that you have experienced in your life, right? Yes. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Chuban from Malaysia. Mr. Chuban, you there? I can see nice background. You have lively, lot of books over there. Yes, Mr. Chuban. Yes, hi. 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 So, for you, from your point of view, what are the most common communication barriers that you have come across in your professional life? I can see from your face that you have job experience, right?
Yes, I do have job experience.
As a what? May I know as a what?
I'm a head of department for a debt collection agency.
Okay.
Okay,
So meaning to say your main job scope is to communicate with the clients and with the most broken people, right?
yes, correct.
So it's very difficult and not difficult, it's very challenging for you, right? It's
It is very challenging.
Yes, right. So what are the most common barriers that you have come across in your professional life while communicating?
The first thing is language, as our friend Justin said. Okay. The second thing would be the understanding between me and the customer. Okay. Because we do it all on phone calls, so they can't see our expressions and all. So they think that whenever we speak to them in a higher tone, they think that we are arguing with them or we are going harsh on them. So I think because of no, they can't see our face and all, so that's the main problem for it.
Next.
Next,
One more challenges.
I would say, well, that's about it. I can recall of right now.
No problem, but it's very important. All of you can take note. And I'll be allowing you guys to share your own opinion so that from one culture to another, people from another culture can get more practical knowledge. See, one of the most common communication barriers is to communicating with them over phone, because you can't show your face to them. You only can show your words. They can hear your words only. They will not understand your point of view, your mindset. They only can hear what is in your brain, but you have a heart. People will not feel this one. Yes, I understand. Yes, it's very good point. All of you can take note. Yeah, the last one, Mr. Noor. Mr. Noor, in your life, okay, not Noor. Noor, I will be calling your name later on. Miss Alzima, I notice you have put your hands out. Yes. Alzima, what do you think? What is the most common communication barrier you have come across in your professional life? Would you mind sharing? It's okay. No problem. There's something wrong with her